You heard Ann. It's all tied up, one game apiece. So let's go in the bonus here on Game 3 in Minnesota. Luka has starred in the first two games, becoming the second player in NBA history to average 30 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists per game in his first two playoff games with any franchise. He joins Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who did this with the Lakers back in 1977. As for the Timberwolves, they've had two outlier three-point shooting games, right? One good, one bad. They scorched the Nets for 21 made threes on 42 attempts in Game 1, and then they followed that up by making just 5 of 25 threes in their Game 2 loss here. Which brings us to a pivotal Game 3 tonight in Minnesota. And why is it so important? Because historically, the winner of Game 3 of a best-of-7 series tied at 1-1 has gone on to win that series over 74% of the time. This gives a major edge for the rest of the series. So here's LeBron James at shoot-around today.
I mean, the postseason doesn't matter what the numbers look like. It doesn't matter, what the score's going to look. I mean, what the stat sheet look like. It's about that. To win the game. Obviously, you want to get better. You want to look at the things you could have got better at. When you watch the film the day after, or how many days you have to be clean. But there's no moral victories in the postseason. It's about winning the game. And let's see what team you get before. Faster than another team. That's the only thing.
Now joining us from Minnesota, our reporter covering the Lakers, Dave McMenamin. Dave, we just heard what LeBron is prioritizing here. What's JJ Redick's message?
Yeah, Malik, I spoke to JJ yesterday, and he said after looking at the game tape from the first two games of the series, there's a lot for the Lakers to clean up offensively. And he said in order to do so, he wants to see them play with some more pace and some more thrust. You think about the offensive numbers that they've had in the fast break. They were dominated in Game 1, only scored 6. They won the battle in fast break in Game 2, but even still, in winning it, they only scored 13. So he thinks that they can boost their numbers by, running more. But I asked LeBron that question before he gave that answer this morning at shoot-around, and, I hearkened back to the 2015 finals when he was just trying to drag the Cavs across the finish line against the Warriors. And back then he said, I'm throwing efficiency out the window. Sometimes the numbers don't matter so long as you are bringing the fight to the battle.
Okay, so that's the Lakers side of this. On the other side, you spoke to Rudy Gobert at Wolves shoot-around. What can you tell us about how he sees his impact in this series?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a battle between Rudy and the Lakers stars, and he got the better of them. Even though the Wolves lost Game 2, Rudy Gobert, as the isolated defender against LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves, held those guys for 3 for 12 shooting. And he said he lives for those moments. He wants to play against the best players in the world. So while the Lakers seemingly are hunting out that ISO matchup, Rudy says bring it on, because he wants to continue to prove why he's a multi-time Defensive Player of the Year. And what better way to do it than trying to stop guys like LeBron and Luka?
Certainly the crowd in Crypto.com Arena would go nuts every single time Rudy got switched on to Luka Doncic. But when you look at the numbers, as you just pointed out, Rudy did hold his own, particularly against Luka there, even if the crowd was sort of feeding off of those moments. Dave McMenamin, thank you so very much. Enjoy tonight's game. Hey, we got a treat right here on NBA Today. You won't believe who is stopping by. Oh, yes, it's the man, it's the myth, it's the legend. And he's on the sidelines covering tonight's game, doing our color commentary, our analyst work here. Richard Jefferson, we always appreciate you making it to the time. I want to get to both sides of this game, but we're going to start with the Los Angeles Lakers. What is the key as the series shifts to Minnesota?
Oh, there's so many keys. I would look at the others. I would look at who's going to play well. You saw Naz Reid play well. You saw Jaden McDaniels play well in game 1. Those guys are going to have to continue to hit shots, especially McDaniels. But on the other side, the Lakers lost the rebounding battle by 7 in Game 1, and they won it in Game 2. The Lakers are 18-3 when they're +5 on the rebounding margin. Now, that might seem like a random stat, but if they're cleaning up the glass, and the Lakers are small. Remember, they tried to go get the big at the deadline. They weren't able to. They lost Anthony Davis. So the Lakers are traditionally a small team, even though they have big wings. So when they clean up the glass and they have a +5 margin on the glass, they're 18-3. And I say all that to say is that those extra shots, the ability to get out in transition, but you're also going to need extra guys like Austin Reeves is going to have to do something. You're going to need a couple more guys to show up. In the Minnesota win, they had 7 guys with 9 or more. 7 guys with 9 or more. And that just shows the balance. And on the Lakers side in game 2, they had a much better balance in the scoring opportunity. So I think it's the others, but I also think that rebounding margin is something that you're going to have to really pay attention to.
Yeah, Austin Reeves was able to find much more of a rhythm here in game 2, help out Luka Doncic. I'm also wondering, we've talked about LeBron James, his health. I'm very curious to see if this is one of his more signature, at least scoring performances, because defensively, he still looked pretty good. All right, let's go to the other side of this one, Richard. How can Minnesota capitalize on their home court advantage here?
Well, Minnesota's been a real funny team at home, especially if you look at last year in the postseason, winning 2 games against Denver, then losing 2 games at home, ultimately still winning in game 7. But I think Minnesota, they've got to show some maturity. They've got to continue to grow. They've got to be greedy. They didn't look greedy in game 2. They didn't look as greedy. They looked like they were full. They've got to come out and be excellent at home. And typically the role players are the ones that play better. So that's why I think Minnesota has a great opportunity to take full control of this series, not only in just game 3, but also in game 4.
Yeah, Bobby Marks said after game 2 that he would rather be a Minnesota Timberwolves fan. Even after watching what he just saw with the series shifting back to Minnesota, he thinks that they're going to be able to regain some ground here. Richard, before I let you go, we don't like to call you an icon or a fashion maven, but it wouldn't be incorrect to use those terms. So if we could take a look together at our tunnel walk brought to you by JCPenney. We pulled a few of the elite playoff fits we've seen so far. I'm hoping for your expert analysis here. Starting with the Canadian tuxedo
was
yeah,
great.
This is pretty good too here.
Luka's just classic Cade Cunningham. He's really introduced himself to America. Steph, he's still expressman. That's what Steph does. I think he still has a collab. But this right here is called aura. What you see right there, those 3, that's called aura. And I've always said this. If you see a well-dressed 7-footer, shout out to my guy Chet Holmgren, they had to work twice as hard as everybody else that gets to shop off the rack. So Chet has some custom fits there. Yeah. He's looking elite.
Well, what about this guy, though? After, obviously, we see what is done in the NBA, but it looks like Schefter was taking some tips from you with the hoodie, but he also added the tie. Who wore it better?
Yeah. I want to tell you, the tie hoodie with the print on the suit, oh my God, that might be the greatest suit hoodie combo I've ever seen. Matching tie, I'm gonna have to steal it. I get it, it's cold in Green Bay. I'm glad that I would give a little credit to Orlovsky too for like introducing the hoodie to the broadcast booth. I felt like I really kind of made it my own. Yeah. But Chef's taking it to a whole new level. That's chef's kiss.
Yeah, it's a chef's kiss, really a chefty kiss
I'm
here.
Glad you got that
putting a little extra, putting a new level to Richard's style here. Richard, we appreciate you. We look forward to truly hearing you on tonight's game. Still to come on NBA Today. Let's get to the bump before you can call me out. A hampered Jimmy Butler. Is that better than no Jimmy Butler? We debate the pros and cons of giving Butler Game 3 off ahead of tomorrow's showdown on ABC. You heard Ann. It's all tied up, 1 game apiece. So let's go in the bonus here on Game 3 in Minnesota. Luka has starred in the first 2 games, becoming the second player in NBA history to average 30 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists per game in his first 2 playoff games with any franchise. He joins Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who did this with the Lakers back in 1977. As for the Timberwolves, they've had 2 outlier 3-point shooting games, right? 1 good, 1 bad. They scorched the Nets for 21 made threes on 42 attempts in Game 1, and then they followed that up by making just 5 of 25 threes in their Game 2 loss here. Which brings us to a pivotal Game 3 tonight in Minnesota. And why is it so important? Because historically, the winner of Game 3 of a best-of-7 series tied at 1-1 has gone on to win that series over 74% of the time. This gives a major edge for the rest of the series. So here's LeBron James.